You guys have become friends here. When did that start to happen?
Well, obviously playing against him so many years, felt like we met at a Pro Bowl, got to know each other at a couple off-season golf tournaments, and we just had tremendous respect for each other. I was so impressed with Tom's commitment to be better every season than he was the year before. Always looking for some type of edge in his training and his film study. And we actually got together one off-season in 2009 at the height of our careers. Tom's coming off an MVP season. I'm coming off an MVP season. We met in a small town in Tennessee. I said, Tom, let's get together. Let's kind of go real under the radar. Don't tell anybody we're coming in. Tom flies in on Mr. Kraft's plane, big, huge plane. I'm like, that is not what I said. I said under the radar. That's against the salary cap, too, by the way. We won't get into that. But we played golf together. We lifted weights together. We threw routes together with these high school receivers. We took their phones away, and we said, if you tell anybody that Tom Brady and I are working out together and that we're friends, we're going to kill all of you. So, but it was fascinating to see his work ethic, and we really picked each other's brains, not giving away all of our secrets, but we were kind of challenging each other to get better. It was a fascinating 2 days for me. It really was. And then, of course, a couple years ago, I was fortunate to get inducted into the Hall of Fame. Tom Brady left training camp to come to see my induction, and I'm honored to be here tonight, and I promise I'll be there in a couple years when he is there in Canton as well.
Great surprise guest. Ladies and gentlemen, a hand in Foxborough for Peyton Manning.
All right, that was Peyton Manning this week at Tom Brady's Hall of Fame induction into the Patriots Hall of Fame. I'm not going to talk to you about Patriots, don't worry. This ties back to Tennessee. But I have to go through one to explain the second. I was up there for that thing, and it was the best, it wasn't a sporting event, but it was the best sporting event I've ever attended. It was 60,000 fans on hand in Gillette Stadium. Whole stadium's open up. There's no chance of losing a game. They brought back hundreds of former Patriots and coaches. They showed highlight after highlight. It was an opportunity that you never get because guys retire, guys get traded, guys sign free agent deals. We had an opportunity to cheer an offensive line coach who was there for 40 years, in Dante Scarnecchia. And I'm sitting there, again, bear with me. I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, no fan gets to enjoy this. 3 hours of just nostalgia and joy. It was a night of grown men crying on the stage and all around that stadium. And there were plenty of women crying too. But the trick was, though, I'm sitting there thinking, man, am I lucky to be enjoying this? All fans should get to do this. And then it dawned on me, Danny White likes money. Danny White's looking for new revenue streams. This was like a home football game in the middle of June for the New England Patriots. Now, they went all out in doing this whole show. So there's cost involved. And you had to open up concession stands and security and parking. And you have to have people to do all that stuff. But I'm sitting there thinking, if Danny White and UT decided one summer night, and you're praying for good weather, which they got in New England, but if they decided we're going to open up Neyland Stadium, and it's going to be 3/4 open, and we're going to sell tickets, and we're going to bring back all the greats we can. When did you ever get a chance to thank David Cutcliffe for what he did? I'm not talking about the 85 team going to the Tennessee Theater. I'm talking 50, 60,000 Vol fans cheering those guys in the arena where we all watched it and saw it happen. And the way they did it in New England was you would have one player come up, he gets a round of applause, he then introduces a panel on stage. Here's Gronk, here's Welker, here's Edelman with Brady. You're cheering all of them. Then it goes to another guy, there's highlights. Imagine if you've got Willie Gault and Tim Irwin down there. Round of applause, and they say, and boy, we're just glad we were able to set the table for this bunch, the 85 Vols. And you have Dale Jones and Darryl Dickey and Jeff Powell walk out there. I think Vol fans would eat that up right up through the 98. And you get a chance to thank Chavis and Cutcliffe, guys who you didn't stop a game and say, hey, everybody, how about an ovation for all these guys who've done it? You didn't get it.
Right.
I just thought, this is something that I bet other teams are going to start doing. It doesn't have to be just someone's retirement. There's a lot involved in it, but it's like a home game in the middle of the summer. We'll see if they do it or not, but to me, that kind of a thing, I wish all of you guys could do something like that with your teams. And growing up around here, I just thought, man, Vol fans would go crazy for something like that. Thoughts?
Yeah. I think it's a great idea with the construction at Neyland Stadium.
Well, I'm not talking about this year. I'm talking about down the road.
Well, and that's what I was going to say is it wouldn't be a short-term thing. It'd be like once they finish all the stages at Neyland Stadium.
This couldn't be thrown together quickly.
No, were they planning this for a year
Yeah,
or
it
more?
was a year.
It was
Right.
a year
Yeah.
in planning.
Well, even next year, I mean, if there's more stages. But the concept of it, the way Tennessee reflects back on its history so well, so many stars, I do think it would be an absolute smash hit.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
I think that you would probably, we'd need something else to happen or I don't know what it is. I think 98, people have been hanging their hat on 98 around here for a really long time. So I think if you tried to open up Neyland Stadium and do 98, I don't think that's going to happen.
I think it's got to be
now.
98 and 85 and every
All
champion.
of it together, do it as one. Maybe that would be the thing. Or
And you tell people this raises money for NIL.
yeah,
Well, and here's the other thing, too. They had Peyton Manning walk across the stage in Boston. Steve Spurrier walking across the stage in Knoxville.
Yes, to talk
Well,
about some
that
of the
sort
toughest.
of thing.
Yes.
So it wouldn't just be Tennessee guys. I mean, Nick Saban come and talk about what happened 2 years ago. That sort of thing. I think it would be interesting.
Well, here's the deal. You've got statues of all these guys. Do they have one of Manning? They don't have a Manning statue, do they?
That I'm aware of.
Make a 16-foot tall Manning statue,
That'd just be his forehead.
put it out there, invite everybody back for Manning night. And the trick is, at Manning night, you talk about all these other guys.
All the other things.
That's what they did here. This
Yeah.
was a Brady induction, but it was really just a chance to close the book on 20 great years. But even, they brought out all of the Patriots Hall of Famers. Former of all, the reason I'm a Patriots fan, Stanley Morgan was there up on stage with Tom Brady at the end. I just think that Tennessee fans would really go for that, bringing back all these old guys for a chance to say, where have you ever seen Eric Berry, Peyton Manning, Al Wilson together on one stage
place, yeah.
in Neyland Stadium with a chance to say thank you? Philip Fulmer, Cutcliffe, and Chavis back together on I just think there's something to that.
Yeah, sometimes they'll bring them out, but it's like during a timeout or
Yeah.
a little
That's
halftime thing.
different,
But this
yeah.
would be
They don't get
much
to
more in
speak.
detail.
Yeah.
Was there any fan interaction there? The different elements,
Just the chants that went on and on. But no, they didn't bring fans.
like autographs or anything? Kind of stuff?
No, but that's something you could do. And again, they charged regular season tickets. I think you'd also have fans that would say, oh, I'm going to get to see all this and I'm helping out NIL for once. Okay, I'll do that too. I may be wrong, but to me, as I sat there experiencing this and I watched everybody around me just freaking out the same way I was, it was the culmination of an entire lifetime of fandom. And Tennessee fans are so passionate, I would imagine they would love that, something like that, where you bring some Vol football reunion for the ages, jumbotrons filled with all these history, and you just go decade by decade. Just a thought. But anyway, we'll see if Danny White takes it and runs with it, and probably not. When we come back, the Vols face North Carolina tonight, but will they still be playing when we come to you next Sunday morning? Come on back on the Sports Source.